I'm Marilee Caruso. It's Tuesday, June 9th. Today, a waiting game.
That's the power of overland flooding. You really don't know, and you really don't know how to prepare for that.
How multiple municipalities are declaring states of emergency and what they're doing to prevent even further damage. Also tonight, no longer lighting up, where millions of illegal cigarettes were discovered by authorities.
And Winnipeg and much of the south under a tornado watch, but there are communities to the southeast of the city under a tornado warning. I'll show you where that tornado storm is right now and where it's heading.
Good afternoon. Thanks for joining us. Winnipeg is once again bracing for the return of severe weather. A tornado watch is in effect for the city this hour. CTV weather specialist Colleen Brady is tracking the volatile system and joins us now with the latest. Colleen, what can you tell us about where this storm is right now?
Well, in addition to that tornado watch over Winnipeg, the city is also under a severe thunderstorm warning because there is a severe thunderstorm warning here. However, even more severe is this area right here to the southeast of the city in red. That is where there is a tornado-warned thunderstorm right now. Now, Environment Canada just in the process right now of updating its precise location, but moments ago it was closest to Kleefeld, which is not far from Steinbach. Now, this storm has been moving pretty quickly at about 40 kilometers an hour to the north. So I'll zoom in. You see Winnipeg just disappears under that sea of lightning. So here's a look right now. There you go. You can see that storm moving north, not too far away from Winnipeg. I'll have more details on these storms and what we can expect as the night unfolds coming up.
We'll talk to you in a bit, Colleen. Thanks. Western Manitoba, meantime, has been hammered by another round of heavy rain, triggering even more municipalities to declare states of emergency. Swan River is the latest victim of flash flooding, and the wet weather may not be over yet. Standing by live with those details is CTV's John Hendricks. John, what can you tell us about the situation tonight?
Marilee, roads are washed out, limiting access in and out of town, and a number of homes and businesses are threatened by the rising water. Now take a look at some of the shocking images that are coming into our newsroom from Swan River. Now we're told this all started just after 6 p.m. last night when the Roaring River, which is located about 2 miles south of Swan River, spilled its banks, triggering overland flooding. That water made its way to the Tamarack Creek, which runs through Swan River, and it didn't take long before it too filled up and spilled its banks. The result, widespread overland flooding. First at the town's industrial park, where a number of businesses took on water. Then it made its way to the southeast corner of town, where the water reached dozens of homes. By midnight, those floodwaters had made their way to the west side of Swan River. Sandbagging efforts managed to mitigate some of the damage. Crews and volunteers were out all night and into the morning trying to protect as many properties as possible. The problem is that this flash flood really caught everyone off guard, including the mayor. Lance Jacobson says this is unlike anything the town has ever seen before, and he's shocked by what has unfolded.
Yesterday, if you would have asked me at this time, would we see any flooding in the town of Swan River? And I clearly said, no, we wouldn't, because we didn't really see that area or the water that was coming from that direction as a threat to the town. And you know, it proved that the water can do whatever it wants, and we were wrong. But you know, that's the power of overland flooding. You really don't know, and you really don't know how to prepare for that.
Now, Marilee, just to put into context how unusual this is, Mayor Jacobson says the last time that he can remember the Roaring River spilling its banks was back in 1988. And while it did result in some overland flooding back then, that water never came close to reaching the town of Swan River.
John, is the province offering any help?
You know, Premier Wab Kinew and Mayor Jacobson spoke today. We're told that emergency measure staff are in the region overseeing the response, and vehicles from the Office of the Fire Commissioner are also available to assist with any water rescues that may be needed. And that is likely a good thing, because tonight there is a very real fear that this situation could get worse before it gets better. You see, over in the municipality of Swan Valley West, which by the way has also declared its own state of emergency, a dam is about to burst. Now, coming up at 6, we'll hear directly from the reef about just how close it is to failing and what would happen if it does.
All right, looking forward to that. Thanks, John. Mounties are searching for a suspect after a store clerk was injured trying to prevent a theft. It happened Saturday night at the corner of highways 59 and 11, just south of Victoria Beach. RCMP say the clerk grabbed onto a suspect as they tried to leave on an ATV with stolen liquor. But the clerk fell off and was then run over. The 40-year-old man suffered serious but non-life-threatening injuries and remains in hospital. RCMP are now looking for this man, 27-year-old Kevin Corshane of Winnipeg, who's facing several charges, including aggravated assault, robbery, and failure to comply. Corshane has not been seen or heard from since the incident, and his family has reported him missing. Anyone with information on his whereabouts is asked to contact RCMP or Crime Stoppers. 2 men are facing charges after millions of illegal cigarettes were discovered in a semi-trailer near the Ontario border. Mounties say 781 cases totaling more than 800,000 individual cigarettes were discovered in the trailer at a waste station at West Hawk Lake last month. The driver, a 40-year-old man from Brooks, Alberta, and his passenger, a 70-year-old man from Toronto, were arrested. They have a court date in August on charges of possession of contraband tobacco and possession of contraband tobacco for the purpose of distribution. Under Manitoba's triple tax, penalty fines would be north of $7 million on top of a federal fine of more than $1 million. The Premier unveiled a plan today to streamline mining regulations in an effort to attract investment. At this morning's Chamber of Commerce breakfast, Wab Canoe said Manitoba has been focusing on healthcare, but it's time to make it easier to get resource projects going using the slogan, "Mine, baby, mine." Canoe says there's nothing stopping Manitoba from following the growth path of Saskatchewan. He added part of the motivation is driven by the ongoing trade uncertainty with the United States.
Whereas before, I think Manitobans were generally in favor of mine development in Manitoba. Now I think people are feeling like, all right, let's get the show on the road. We've got these resources, we've got an economic need. There's markets around the world, including it within Canada, that we can help support. So let's push things forward.
The Premier's comments come less than a week after he rejected a proposal for a large data center south of Winnipeg, which the opposition says would have meant billions of dollars in investment. But Canoe says the massive drain on power from that facility wouldn't have come close to balancing the environmental impact or the number of jobs created. More than 8,800 megaliters of sewage spilled into Winnipeg's waterways last year. For comparison, that's more than 3,500 Olympic-sized swimming pools, or roughly 2/5 of all of the water in Clear Lake. And while it's a lot, it's actually 30% less than a year earlier. The information is part of the city's latest progress report on a plan to reduce the amount of outflows to 85%. As of 2025, the report says it has achieved 77%. The 20th edition of Bike to Work Day pedaled into Winnipeg today. 74 pit stops hosted by different organizations were set up all across the city to promote a two-wheeled commute. Cyclists enjoyed food, drinks, and prizes, as well as a little TLC for their rides, like tune-ups. And reflective of the turnout today, organizers say the mode of transportation is continuing to grow in popularity.
Actually, I think two of the big growths were the pandemic. Saw a lot of people get on their bikes. And I think recently, right now, what we're seeing with gas prices, we're seeing a number of people, a lot of people getting on their bikes and saying, I'm going to give it a try. And we're also seeing, the explosion of e-bikes everywhere.
The event is part of Bike to Work Week, which celebrates cycling and aims to create a fun and engaging experience for all riders. Bike Week, by the way, runs right through to June 13th. All right, let's bring in Colleen Brady once again and get another look at this storm system triggering warnings and watches. What's the latest, Colleen?
This is a dynamic, complicated weather system, Marilee. We have atmospheric conditions coming up from the south, basically hot, humid air. It's helped.
The following is a message from the Canadian National Public Alerting System.
At 5:08 p.m. Central Daylight Time Tuesday, Environment Canada has updated a tornado warning for southeastern Manitoba. Extra care and attention should be exercised. The following localities are included in the warning: Steinbach, Niverville, La Brocquerie, Vida, Sweet. Anne, Lorette, St. Adolphin's Wheat. Agaith. Environment Canada meteorologists are tracking a severe thunderstorm that is possibly producing a tornado. Damaging winds, large hail and locally intense rainfall are also possible. Take cover immediately if threatening weather approaches. Please consult local media for more information.
Tornadoes sometimes aren't visible. They can be rain wrapped, so you don't necessarily always see them. Now, Environment Canada is saying, and I will zoom right in, the latest we have is that this tornado-warned storm is passing over Randolph and New Bothwell. It is still moving north at 40 kilometers an hour. So again, I'll stop the radar exactly where we are right now. This whole area, including the city of Winnipeg, still lighting up with that lightning there. So be vigilant. I do want to show you a photo that we received earlier from this tornado-warned storm. If you look very closely, you can see a funnel forming at the bottom edge of that storm cloud. Now, this is from Chris out in St. Malo. Now, Chris says the photo was taken west of La Rochelle and east of Dufrost there as the system was moving through that community. So just be especially vigilant if you are in those areas. More to come as these systems move, of course, but let's take a look right now through the CTV Live. It is brought to you by Bathfitter, exclusive home of the PermaFit solution. In Winnipeg right now, you can see that rain coming down in thunderstorms over the city. At this moment, a non-severe thunderstorm. That could well change again. 22 degrees with the humidex. It feels warmer. Winds strong and gusting out of the southeast. The pressure's dropping and the humidity is 84%. Out in traffic, a live look at the Provencher Bridge. You can see the rain on the roads there. Please do drive to conditions.
Seeing things up, how a new license plate option is coming to the province. Those details after the break. Taking a look at the markets today, crude oil is down $3. The Canadian dollar is unchanged at 71.70 cents U.S. Gold fell $77. The TSX dropped 67 points. The Dow Jones gained 86 points, while the Nasdaq lost 250 points. A Montreal-based charity is calling on Canada's religious communities to unlock their idle land for affordable housing and community services. They call the initiative the Winnipeg Declaration. Re11 says there are 30,000 acres of land in Canada being held by religious communities. However, it says when land like this is sold, it is often at a loss without considering the potential community impact. It wants to change that. The charity is pushing for idle church properties to be transformed into housing. However, it knows there are often zoning and other legal obstacles standing in the way.
Winnipeg's got a lot of heritage faith properties that are difficult to develop properties. So what can we do around being creative around the reimagination of what those properties could look like if they could accommodate housing?
The charity says municipal, provincial, and federal governments each have a distinct role to play. It could include adjusting zoning and tax frameworks to offering longer-term financing for social purpose organizations. The province is asking for your help choosing a new license plate in support of Manitoba's provincial parks. It's giving Manitobans a choice between 5 designs. The artwork covers a range of outdoor scenes. Designs include people sitting outside admiring the wilderness under moonlight, a scenic canoe ride, and a simple black plate with the phrase "Park at Night." A portion of the proceeds from each plate will go to Manitoba Provincial Park Endowments Fund. You can cast your vote for your favorite online at engagemb.ca until July 31st. The new license plates will be made available sometime next year.
The rhythm is gonna get you. I'm like, when is this happening? The song's like, tonight. I'm like, yo!
Get ready to laugh. How Winnipeg comedy fans are in for some off-the-cuff personal stories from a veteran TV star. Those details next in Spotlight. Brady is back now for Spotlight, and another renowned comedian and TV star in Winnipeg is coming to our city.
Yeah, he sure is. Sal Vulcano, best known as the co-creator of the long-running TV series Impractical Jokers, is bringing his Everything's Fine Canada tour to Burton Cummings Theatre this fall.
I was born in 1976, and for most of 1987, I was terrified. that the rhythm was going to get me. You can talk amongst yourselves.
He is set to deliver a fresh hour of witty observations, self-deprecating humor, personal stories, and lots of laughs, of course. The show kicks off October 16th. Tickets go on sale this Friday at 10 a.m. through Ticketmaster.
A Canadian musical power couple is about to hit the road.
And they'll be making a stop in Winnipeg.
It always gets dark before the dawn.
Winnipeg-born singer-songwriter Chantal Kreviazuk, along with husband and Our Lady Peace frontman Rain Maida, are set to play Britain's coming theatre on November 25th. It's all part of their Break Your Heart tour. Tickets go on sale Friday through Ticketmaster.
All right, now to some scary box office news.
That's right. A beloved franchise has made a big comeback.
Yes, we're back. Back again.
We back.
Scary Movie debuted at #1, bringing in $56 million. It's the 6th installment in the series that started back in 2000. The film was expected to bring out millennials who are nostalgic for the series and is also hoping to draw in a younger crowd with its parodies of recent horror hits like Smile and Sinners.
All right, meantime, 2 surprise hit horror movies have really paid off for their studios.
Yeah, it's pretty incredible. YouTuber Kane Parsons' horror flick Backrooms has topped $200 million in global sales.
Look, I know how this sounds, but you gotta understand, it's massive in there.
I'm not saying I don't believe you.
Okay.
Box Office Hall put it past Marty Supreme to become A24's biggest hit ever in just 10 days. Meanwhile, another horror film, Curry Baker's Obsession, has also crossed the $200 million mark worldwide.
Yeah, and they didn't cost very much to make either. Young directors with big futures, I would say. Thanks,
Hearing
Colleen.
lots of things about Backrooms.
Yeah.
Here's your Tuesday primetime lineup at 7. Catch The Big Bang Theory. Match Game comes next at 8, and Password wraps it up at 9. It's all right here tonight on CTV. A live look at Notre Dame. Raining out there with a thunderstorm passing through. 2 crashes to let you know about. The first one not too far away from there, Brookside and Inkster. The northbound median lane is affected. The other one, Notre Dame, again not too far away at Flint. That crash is blocking the westbound curb lane. It's 22 degrees with a thunderstorm over Winnipeg.
Women's clothing provided by R.W. & Company. Salon services provided by S&T Spa Salon.
CTV Skywatch weather brought to you by South Beach Casino and Resort. Visit southbeachcasino.ca.
Well, as I mentioned, this is a complicated and dynamic storm system that will be enveloping much of southern Manitoba, and consequently, the weather alerts issued by Environment Canada may be a little complicated. We have different colors. Some are bolded, some are lighter, reflecting watches and warnings. So basically, much of the south under a tornado watch, including Winnipeg and Brandon. Dauphin not under the tornado watch, but under a severe thunderstorm watch. Swan River, that goodness, does not need any more water, could be contending with a thunderstorm of its own tonight and more showers, but not under a watch or a warning at this point. But we are still watching this very closely. This area, this is a tornado warning. These areas lighting up in red, and you've seen this move and evolve over the course of the past few minutes since we've come to air. So at this point, Environment Canada says that this storm, which could be producing a tornado, is now near Blumenort and moving north at 40 kilometers an hour. And as I mentioned, if there is a tornado coming out of this storm, it could be rain wrapped, which could make it difficult to see. So be very vigilant and frankly get yourself to safety if you are in that area. This storm is moving north at 40 kilometers an hour. And again, it could be producing a tornado, but in addition to that, it could be producing an awful lot of rain, hail, and very strong winds. We've already seen some pretty sizable hail. I'll show you some in just a moment when I show you a couple of our weather photos. Here's a look at the futurecast as this plays out. Even over the next couple of hours, you can see how much this storm will blossom across southern Manitoba, not really impacting the north whatsoever. This is a southern Manitoba storm system, and it will move into northwestern Ontario overnight as well. So we could be in for not just showers and thunderstorms, but severe thunderstorms that could last into the overnight hours across the south. So again, if you don't need to go out tonight, probably best just to cancel those plans or just not do it. Overnight, you can see the bulk of the rain starts to shift off, but we could well be contending again with continued thunderstorms overnight. And even on Wednesday, temperatures won't be quite as warm. It won't be quite as humid, but there is still the possibility of lingering showers or non-severe thunderstorms on the backside. Taking us right into Thursday, where look at this, more showers affecting a good swath of Manitoba, including Winnipeg. By the time we get to late Thursday afternoon, this is really a weather event for the eastern half of the province, cloudy for the western side. For tonight for Winnipeg, 18 degrees. We've already had a thunderstorm move over the city that a few minutes ago was severe. It's still in effect right now. Not the severity part, though, but the thunderstorm is still in effect. But it could redevelop as a severe thunderstorm as we go throughout the next few hours. 18 is our low tonight. Strong south winds. 25 tomorrow, again, with a pretty good chance we'll see showers, maybe a non-severe thunderstorm. Winds out of the southwest at 20 kilometers an hour. Then we'll see rain and showers continue on Thursday, just 17 degrees. And no big warm-up in sight during the long range. 18 on Friday, mix of sun and cloud with a low chance of showers. The weekend, 16 Saturday, a mix of sun and cloud, up to 22 on Sunday. Similar conditions, and into Monday, a similar day, 21 degrees under a mix of sun and cloud. Now, Tilly sent this photo from Blumenort. Tilly, please get yourself to shelter immediately. That tornado-warned storm is right near your community there, and again moving north at 40 kilometers an hour, but that's what the sky looked like earlier this afternoon there. And this photo gives you a sense of just how big that hail is falling out there. This was earlier this afternoon as well out at Sanford from Michelle. Send us your photos to Winnipeg Weather at ctv.ca.
Skywatch Weather Pick of the Day brought to you by Provivo, Winnipeg's first and only longevity medicine clinic. Redefining health, performance, and aesthetics. Provivo.com.
All right, we're going to wrap things up today with an experienced racer who has some tips for you on how to go fast.
The trick is to stay low, get all your weight into the back, and then you'll go down the hill fast.
Miller is one of the 10-year-old drivers who raced in this year's St. John's Soapbox Derby. Cars going down that hill you see can reach speeds up to 40 kilometers an hour. And this race has a bit of a history to it. It's been happening since 2011. This year, money was raised for Pals in the Park, which is a program that helps fund school trips to Rocking Wood Park. Looks fun, though.
It does look like a lot of fun.
Yeah, what is not fun is anything outside. Oh, look at the live shot from downtown. Stay safe. Please. We're back at 6 with an update.